and to attempt to explore it from the canyon rim using telerobots.
We're going to lower this platform down a steep slope that was probably too steep for a human EVA team.
It's a long drive out to the canyon, and on Mars, trips like this might be better accomplished in pressurized rovers that are like sport utility vehicles. On the other hand, it's very convenient to be able to hop on and off ATVs. In the years to come, researchers here on Devon Island hope to compare the two kinds of vehicles.
Capcom to EVA crew, I copy you, and I'm 23 minutes into your EVA, over.
After an hour of difficult driving, the EVA crew hits the treacherous rocky terrain leading up to the even more treacherous canyon.
This looks great!
On Mars, one misstep at a place like this could be deadly.
That is the most interesting thing to employ the robot on.
This is my first time, folks. You probably got a better perspective of that than I. Over.
Yeah, now tell me that you would go over this in a spacesuit.
No, I can get over that in a spacesuit. Let's say we're on Mars and we came to the edge of a steep canyon like this, and Mars has plenty of steep canyons. We want to explore down there. Well, I don't want to climb down there in a spacesuit. Certainly don't want to have to try to climb back up. So we send down a telerobot.
Okay, here we go, Brent.
It is 4:25 p.m. and you are 2 hours and 10 minutes into your EVA. Over.
Did you want to hit that for me? Take that apart.
We're preparing to deploy the robots to the bottom of the valley. It's very steep, and we would not want to go down in our spacesuits, so this is the spot for rovers. Over.
Okay, functions check. Camera going up. Okay, lights, right?
Yes.
Okay, mobility forward.
We're sending it into the abyss. He's moving. Oh yeah, this is good.
This is very Martian-like in many aspects. If you look at the screen, the lack of erosion here really makes a lot of sharp, jagged rocks, which makes it very hazardous for us people. If you take one fall down here, you've got a lot of rips and scrapes all over the suit, and you've got some trouble. It's very slow, but it's a powerful system. The real tough part is handling the screen.
The rover has a panable camera on it, and it also has a variable focus lens. I'm going to do a little focus here. That's pretty. So you can see all the way up to a rock that was right in front of the rover to the area across the canyon.
What we demonstrated today was the ability of a human EVA team on Mars to take tools like this and bring them out to the field and deploy them in the field. These are tools. These are not substitute people. They are tools for people. What we showed here is that a human crew, with all the limitations of the EVA suit and everything that it implies, can use tools like these, which will greatly extend the reach of human explorers on Mars.
Perhaps the most important mission for future Mars robots will be to help figure out where it's worth landing humans on the vast red planet. In the coming decade, more than a dozen reconnaissance robots are supposed to be sent out as scouts. One possible design for a Mars robot is being tested out on Devon Island by a group of graduate students from Carnegie Mellon University. It's a solar-powered autonomous rover that can explore extensive areas while planning and adapting its route such that the fixed solar panel constantly faces the sun and always stays out of shadows. Efficient, robust robots like this could explore non-stop in the polar regions of Mars, where during the summer, just like here on Earth, there's constant sunshine. This is another robot concept being tested out on the Mars-like Devon Island terrain.
Ready?
It's called Bob, short for Buoyant Observing Balloon. Martian landers could drop dozens of these cheap balloons on the red planet. Blown around at random by the Martian winds, they would float over vast stretches of the planet, snapping close-up photos of the ground and beaming them back to Earth, along with information about where each photo was taken. But perhaps the hottest concept for doing reconnaissance of Mars is to use small, almost toy-sized airplanes. To see what kind of imagery a Mars airplane would actually collect, NASA scientist Kelly Snook will fly over Devon Island in a helicopter at the precise cruising height of some of the proposed designs. Although Kelly isn't dressed in a spacesuit, her work is part of the most elaborate simulation being undertaken this summer on Devon Island. The idea is to see how much we can learn about a place from photographs and video before astronauts actually go there themselves. After a 40-minute flight, the images are beamed from Devon Island back to a team of scientists at the NASA Ames Research Center near San Francisco.
What do we think those are?
That other little pool,
We started from the large perspective.
the point that we thought looked interesting.
They're pretending to be the kind of science operations team that will someday support a real human mission to Mars.
Okay, so
Using satellite photos, as well as Kelly's aerial images of Devon Island,
here's the topo.
they pick out areas that look especially interesting, ones that might have water, or might have fossils, or even present life. These will become targets for the next habitat crew to explore. What's unusual about this new crew is almost everyone works for NASA or has played a key role in past robotic missions to Mars.
My first cup of Mars coffee.
And then you,
Before they go out in spacesuits to explore the site selected by the science support team, the crew will do some of its own reconnaissance with robots driven from the habitat. Unlike controlling Mars robots from Earth, where the distance between the two planets creates a huge time delay, robots can be driven in real time from a Mars hab.
Peter, you're first up driving, I guess?
Peter Smith was the designer of a camera that flew to Mars a few years ago on the NASA Pathfinder mission. Like all members of the crew, he needs a crash course in robot driver's ed.
Okay, I've got the up and down on camera tilt.
The location of the habitat is very appropriate to Mars.
Outside view. This camera.
But it's also very challenging terrain with which to try to maneuver these things.
Stop me dead, you know, then I have to back up.
If you try to teleoperate or remote control your kid's car on the street, not very challenging. Uncluttered environment, no problem.
Whoa!
It's when you get this density of huge, very aggressive, ruptured terrain that's very cluttered and very complex.
It's kind of like surfing.
Yeah, really. That's when the human cognition really is challenged, maybe beyond the threshold of certain operators.
It's hard to tell how far we've gone, John.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, we've covered a lot of distance according to the camera. But look at this view. I mean, you see every rock out there. Let me focus. And if you wanted to find fossils, this is the way to do it.
In principle, what you'd like to be able to do is send your robot out to do your sort of pre-EVA reconnaissance, so that when you go out on EVA, you've done that already.
Okay, that looks like the crater in front of me there.
One of the things we're trying to evaluate here is how useful is that experience. You know, if it's not useful, then maybe you dispense with that part, or if it's invaluable, then maybe you know that, hey, you got to have this kind of capability when you go to Mars. You just don't go without it.
Well, I think we're headed towards the crater.
Once everyone can drive the robot safely, it's time to go out and explore the #1 priority site selected by the science operations team.
Okay, so here's the latest uplink from the Science Operations Center.